Welcome back, everybody, to episode 218 of Take Two Podcast, where the only thing that Disney didn't announce last week was a cure for coronavirus.
Or did they?
Or did they? Maybe they did. Or last week we had the Person of the Year that was announced, and congratulations to Sweatpants.
Yes, nice. It should have been face masks.
I wrote down like 8 opening jokes for today. And
Keep going. Why not?
Sorry. Take Two Podcast, where we refuse to change our name, even though it's not racially offending anybody. That's for you. That was for you.
That's why I was on purpose today. A little Take Two sports side there.
Are we grumpy about that? Are you grumpy or whatever, or who cares at this point?
I'm not as grumpy as some, I'll say that. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I don't want it to be Cleveland baseball team. I'm not buying any of that garbage.
Okay, episode 218, folks. We have an absolutely loaded show. Thank you for listening to Take Two Podcasts on your podcast feed. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, hello, good to see you. This is our monthly-ish. We kind of have been getting a little more than monthly videos on the YouTube, but we will give you at least one of our beautiful faces here on our YouTube show for the regular episodes. And if you're listening and not watching, feel free to jump over and subscribe. If you're watching, not listening, vice versa, do that. We do appreciate it. Hit us up on all of our socials at Take Two Podcast for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook group page. Join all this stuff. We got a lot of fun stuff that's happening right now, especially since it's Christmas time. We've got some silly things on there, some edited, poorly commercials on there, some how many Christmas movies can you find in this picture stuff. A lot of fun stuff, man. Jump onto our socials, and we're having a good time there today. About 5 movie reviews we're going to chit-chat about. I think we might be discussing back and forth here. A little he likes, I like kind of stuff on these films. And then, of course, Disney just owned last Thursday. I even saw some people in poor taste, but there's a new D-Day in December. Because it was December 11th is the new D-Day. Whatever. I didn't say it. Anywho. But we would be discussing all of that in the news section. We're going to be breaking a bunch down. And then, of course, there's a whole part devoted just to Marvel. So our Marvel Minute will be well more than a minute today. We hope that you guys enjoy all of it. Inside your feeds right now, you've got a spotlight all on Regina King. That was a lot of fun to break down. It's a quicker episode, but we hope you guys enjoy it. And it's the most television that we've probably talked about ever on a spotlight.
Can I tell you it was funny that I was watching the TV and I saw her commercial for the Cadillac Escalade or something. Have you seen this?
Oh, no.
It's like her driving it, but then she's also directing the commercial. And I was just happened to be watching the show, and I was like, oh yeah, that episode came out today. I need to do something about that. So thank you, Regina, for reminding me that we did an episode about you.
Patreon.com, Take Two Podcast. If you want exclusive extra content, listen, folks, there are 29 episodes right there that you can go back to and listen currently. 28 of them, if you add them all together time-wise, will equal the length of the 29th, because that's about a 2-hour-plus episode that just dropped from Roy. No, Roy went in this week, gave us a bonus Patreon episode where he fully breaks down Supernatural, the TV show. Every single season goes in-depth. It's in-depth is the word to say here. It legit is 2 hours. If you are a Roy fan, if you're a Supernatural fan, if you're a fan of the realm, jump on that right now. You have to join our Patreon as low as $1 a month. Take Two Podcasts. Once you jump onto there, and you'll get all of it. You get all that stuff. And then we have a whole bunch of real cool stuff going forward, taking us right into the new year.
Yeah, even not being a Supernatural fan, I've never watched an episode. I kind of went down a rabbit hole when he was, I had to do the art for it or whatever. I was like, oh, all these people were on Supernatural? Like, there's so many people that were on Supernatural before we knew them for anything else. And that was an interesting take for me. So, yeah, I kind of, even if you're not a fan, maybe give it a listen anyways, because I went down a little rabbit hole myself.
Shout-outs to Lisa, Ryan, Kat, Chris, Vaughn, Kevin, Roy, and Craig as our Patreon subscribers. You guys need to step up your game and start spreading the word. You're doing amazing work already with joining in, and you're getting to enjoy this content. Tell your friends. Come join. Right now, folks, a great Christmas present that you can give somebody else. $12 is what it'll cost you for one whole year subscription to Patreon, to our Patreon. Take Two Podcasts as Patreon. Throw that gift their way.
It's easy, man. And it was yesterday was the 13th, so it would have been perfect for 12 days of Christmas. Like, each day, give them a $1 for their yearly Patreon. 12 days of Christmas, I give you $1 towards Take Two every day. There you go. You're welcome.
All right, let's get rocking into the show, brother. If you're ready, I'm ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Jumping on the poll results. Yeah, man.
All right, so this week I just decided to ask people what are you most excited for as far as at-home releases that are coming for the rest of December, because there's a few big movies releasing before the end of the year, whether they have Oscar implications, all sorts of things like that. So the four choices I gave were Midnight Sky, which is coming to Netflix. That's a George Clooney movie. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which has a lot of buzz around it because of Chadwick Boseman. That's also coming to Netflix. Soul, dropping on Disney Plus, and Wonder Woman 84, which you'll be able to see on HBO Max. And those are both Christmas Day, Soul and Wonder Woman. I cannot wait for that double feature on Christmas Day. That is going to be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no surprise, really. The winner is Wonder Woman. And I think Wonder Woman was kind of like the first big one out of the gate to be starting off this HBO Max, WB, thing that we're doing. And a lot of people are crediting it for death of theaters, all that kind of stuff. So people are really looking forward to this. It's been pushback. So no surprise, that was our winner, 49% of the vote, as well as former hosts combined powers on Facebook. I don't know if you saw this.
No.
To all they did like a comment block for Wonder Woman of GIFs. So Craig, Roy, and Bo all did like a little GIF block of Wonder Woman's.
Wow.
I was
nice.
like, wow. I guess John's too old to use Facebook, but that was cool. And
He's
Nick,
still on MySpace.
Nick, I haven't seen you since episode 40.
Oh, happy birthday, Nick. It was his birthday last week.
There you go. Coming in second place, that was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Soul in third place, which I was kind of surprised. I thought Soul would maybe be right there with Wonder Woman, but that was actually third place. So a lot of people are looking forward to that Ma Rainey. And then Midnight Sky, last place. Shy also shouted out Soul on our Instagram, so just wanted to give him some credit there. But thought that was a fun look at what are you guys planning on watching before the end of the year. Did you have a vote? Because I personally am going to watch all four of them. But, did you have a vote for one more than the other?
Yeah, I was in flip a coin mode. I'm still pumped for Wonder Woman. So I think that's where my vote would sway. But I'm really excited for Soul. I'm really excited for Soul, especially since we're kind of hearing it's not as kid-friendly as you would expect,
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people predicting it in Best Picture nominee, territory, if not even winning Best Picture, which I think is crazy. So we'll see. Yes. Maybe it's that good. I hope so. And like I said, Chadwick. Everybody wants to see Chadwick's last performance. It's Ma Rainey, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
I hope he's phenomenal. I have this weird, feeling in the back of how much love is he going to get because he died type thing. There's a lot of people who thought, oh, Ledger was good, but he only got it because he died. Yeah. I just hope it's worthy of that, and so you can tell people, no, shut up, he was great. That's it.
I've heard a lot of people saying he should win this. He should win Best Actor Oscar for this because they're considering it like a co-lead movie. So he's going to be up for Best Actor. They said the only other competition really is Anthony Hopkins for this movie, The Father, that's coming out, and Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, which we just saw. But I think Riz will get nominated, and that's his win. You know what I mean? Just to get nominated. So I think Chadwick's probably going to bring it home.
I forgot to tell you that we gained a new listener just for today.
Oh.
Yeah, it's because today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Miss Archer. It's your birthday today.
That's right.
And I told her, hey, I'm going to give you a shout out on the show even though you don't listen. So we might be getting her listening ship just now.
Nice. Good. Thank you.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take happy birthday.
All right, time to jump into some reviews. We're going to lead things off with The Prom.
Okay, buddy. Now, we have not talked about this at all, and I will tell you, I have seen some of the craziest discourse on any movie I've ever seen online. Before I watched this movie, I saw a website predicting it to be in the field for Best Picture nominees, which I found to be a little crazy. Some big anticipation from the people who are familiar with the musical. The musical's only been out since 2018, but there's a pretty rabid fan base for it, so a lot of people were really looking forward to this. But then after I watched it, I saw a lot of negativity towards it as well. So a lot of people that were big fans of the musical have turned on it and said it changed a lot, or it just wasn't what I expected, or Ryan Murphy doesn't know how to do musicals. A lot of the scenarios or scenes that he set up weren't well done as far as musical scenes. And also I've seen a lot of talk of some James Corden is offensive, the wrong casting choice, blah, 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 those kind of things. So a lot of divisiveness all over the map with this movie. So if you don't know what The Prom is, this is the newest movie for Netflix, based on the 2018 musical, directed by Ryan Murphy, starring Nicole Kidman, Meryl Streep, James Corden, Michael Keegan-Key, Kerry Washington, Joe Ellen Pellman, Ariana DeBose, and what's the other guy? I'm missing somebody else. Andrew Reynolds, or whatever his name is, Reynolds. So, and this is based on a musical, like I said, where this girl wants to go to the prom, and she happens to be a lesbian, and so then this school in Indiana says, we're not going to do the prom because we don't want same-sex couples to come to the prom, basically, and it becomes a thing. These washed-up kind of Broadway actors hear about it and go to this small town in Indiana to help her put on a prom and whatever. So easy enough concept. Turns into a musical. You know, there are a lot of songs in here. I honestly, overall, kind of enjoyed this. I'm at a 3 out of 5 on this. I had some fun with it. I liked some of the songs. At least 3 or 4 of the songs stuck with me. And even later this weekend, I was kind of singing them to myself in my head. And I was like, yeah, that was a decent little number. There's a couple emotional numbers in here or moments that hit for me. I thought it was well done and realistic and a modern take on the way the world is right now. I was impressed with Joellen Pellman's debut. Also, Ariana DeBose, you know, we saw her in Hamilton as the Bullet. She's the Bullet character on stage. Doesn't have any lines or anything, but this was kind of her first big breakout, so it was good to see her. But overall, I did have fun with it. But then I started hearing those things, the negativity and the reviews, and I was like, okay, I kind of see those angles. But for me, I don't agree with it. So I want to let you take your take first, and then we'll discuss if you agree or don't agree on some of those angles.
Yeah, I definitely saw a lot of the James Corden hate. It's just tough. I will never agree with you should cast a gay person in a gay person role. These are actors, okay? That's my stance. It always has been, okay? Actors, it's their job to play a different character, and this character happens to be gay. Sorry. I refuse to just get someone of that because that's their thing. That's not acting. That's just, you know. But the thoughts of he was weirdly effeminate and tried to be flamboyant when he shouldn't, okay, I guess if you want to nitpick and see that. There's a line in the film very early on where Kevin Chamberlain comes in and he says, oh, they liked the show, it's just you two they didn't like. Speaking to Streep and Corden's characters. I almost buy that for this. I did not – I honestly feel if you take the first 35 minutes out of this film, I would have really liked this a lot.
It definitely gets better in the third, like second to third act for sure. Yes.
Yeah. Because by the end, like I was not turn this off mode, but I was just like, I am not loving this. It is way too over the top, way too look at me.
2 hours and 10 minutes too.
But then at the end, I had literal goosebumps as it ended, and I felt it was a feel-good moment for me. So I'm with you. By the end, I did have fun with it. By the end, I was enjoying this. I swear, if you took the first 35 minutes out, turned it into a 5-minute background of why Streep and Corden's characters are doing what they're doing, and Kidman, are doing what they're doing, just condense that down, I think I might really have actually liked this because some of the songs were great. The Asking the Girls to Prom song, I meant to write it down. I forgot what it was, where the high schoolers asked the girls out. I thought that was a great song, a lot of fun. There are 2 or 3 other songs in there that I thought were very solid. They spent a lot of time.
I like Love Thy Neighbor. Love Thy Neighbor.
Love Thy Neighbor. Thank you. That was the other one that was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and already jumped onto the soundtrack as well to listen to them again. There's a lot of, we're going to give you a solo. We're going to give you a solo. We're going to give you a solo. And I was like, well, that's Streep's 5th solo. That's Corden's 3rd. Like, how many solos do we have to give them? And I'm not meaning this to knock their performances because I thought they were both, has Streep ever given a bad performance? I don't know. But so overall, I enjoyed it. I'm about a 3 to 3.5 myself. As I told you, I'm back letterboxing, baby. I'm back on there.
Good.
So I'm at that. I honestly felt if you took the 35 minutes up front out of this, where we proved to you why Corden and Streep are so bad people to begin with, I think I actually would have really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think their backstory of the Broadway people was a little bit much. And like I said, a 2-hour, 10-minute run time, it shouldn't have been that long. You know, trim this down, 145, 150, you're good to go, you know. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of the musical numbers stuck out. I like I Just Want to Dance With You, I thought was a really good one.
Solid. Yeah.
Joellen, when she first kind of comes on the screen and sings her, Don't Be Gay in Indiana, whatever song, I thought that was really good and really
More
well
on
done.
Joellen, please. More Joellen for me, please. I think she's a breakout star. She's going to be great, Joellen Pellman.
I didn't like the forced relationship. Here's where I'm going to get into some nitpicks. I didn't like the Nicole Kidman or the Meryl Streep, Michael Keaton Key relationship. I thought that was ridiculous. There's over 20 years difference between them. Like, come on, whatever. I didn't really like Nicole Kidman is supposed to be this girl who never got a shot. And it's like, really? Are you looking at Nicole Kidman? Like, how was she a failure on Broadway? I don't get that. As far as the Corden stuff, I don't agree as well, because let me give you some examples of why I don't agree. Robin Williams in The Birdcage. Every gay person I've ever met loves that performance. This is the less toned-down version that James Corden's doing of that. Robin Williams was way over the top effeminate doing that role, and he's not a gay man. So
and bossy.
So why are you being so critical of James Corden? You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
And Ryan
Says
Murphy
our
himself is a gay man, so it's like I'm sure, took all that into account when he was casting Corden. You
sure.
know, I don't know. I feel like the whole nitpicky thing of him playing a gay man is over the top for me, and I don't agree with it. Same thing, like, Tom Hanks in Philadelphia, Sean Penn in Milk. We've done this many times before where straight men have played gay characters, so I don't know why people are going after Corden so
Oscar-winning
bad.
performances you're using as examples, but you're not wrong. Yeah, yeah.
Sure,
No,
sure.
you're not wrong.
I also didn't really like the character twist or character arc of Kerry Washington. I didn't feel like they sold that enough for me. Like, she
Oh,
was
sure.
great playing almost the villain of it, and then all of a sudden, spoiler alert, at the end, she just turns. Like, for what reason? They didn't
I
really.
thought she was going to say she was bi. I thought she was legit going to be like, I'm hiding something too. Like the
Well,
way she turned, I was like, oh, okay.
well, and it's my understanding that in the play, James Corden's character has a scene with her where he says to her, like, you need to love your daughter now or you're going to lose her, kind of reinforcing what he went through. And
Sure.
that scene wasn't in this. And I feel like that would have sold that turn of character, and I'm surprised why they didn't do that. That was weird. Ryan Murphy, he does a good job with the fun, flashy, elements of it and making it look big and grandiose, but I kind of agree it was in and out with some of the stuff. Like, you were taking me out of some of the musical numbers or not using the space correctly, or is this a fantasy? Is it's not? Because sometimes they would break and talk to each other normal in the middle of a number, and things like that just didn't really work quite well as
Yeah.
far as directing from a musical angle. I could see that complaint. Because this is like a spiritual successor to Glee. That's all it is Glee,
Valid.
a big screen version of Glee. This could have easily been a one hour storyline they tackled back in season 1 or 2. You know what I mean? So,
And Leah
so
Michelle would
yeah,
have done it so much better. Yeah.
yeah. So overall, I think it's a decent movie. I kind of almost want to watch it again. I was telling the wife because I watched it by myself, and I was like, you know what? Some of the songs stuck with me. I think it's
Yeah.
a good story. I think I like some of the performances enough where I wouldn't mind watching it again. So yeah, I don't get the overall hatred for it. I think I fall more positive than most of what I've seen online, I guess.
I'm a Bye Bye Birdie apologist. I feel underrated in a lot of people's rankings of big Broadway shows, especially Broadway films. And there's a lot of Bye Bye Birdie elements into this, going to a small town and
Sure.
awakening the eyes of these small town community type thing. Also, I had some like producers elements in here too. So there's a lot to like in here. Oscar worthy, get out of here. Whoever was predicting that you saw.
Best Picture. Best Picture. I've even seen them say Meryl Streep could sneak into actress or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't think any of it. I would say this is a Globes play, Best Picture
Yep.
musical. Okay, fine. Or even maybe SAG ensemble, something like that.
Yeah,
That
sure.
would be fine. I'd be okay with that. But this should not sniff the Oscars at all.
That'd be crazy for Streep to get her first ever nomination for this.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on, folks. Hit us on the socials. Let us know what you guys thought about The Prom, because I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Leave a voicemail or a text on that hotline, 434-602-1931, or all the socials we mentioned earlier, because honestly, I do want to hear other people's thoughts. Good, bad. Was the James Corden stuff offensive to you? Should Streep be nominated? You let us guys know. Now, we're going to move on to another film called I'm Your Woman.
Yeah, this is your new release on Amazon Prime this week, starring your girl, Rachel
The
Brosnahan.
Bras, baby.
Yeah, she basically is betrayed by her husband, and she has to go on the run with her baby. Her husband is this kind of crime boss kind of situation going on. He disappears, and he has an associate come and grab her up and say, "We need to go on the run. Your life's endangered. Grab the baby. Let's go." This is directed by Julia Hart, who I previously watched her film Fast Color, which was really good. Actually, I really liked Fast Color. And this movie overall for me was decent. Again, I'm probably like a 3 on this one. It's a slow burn, man. It's a slow burn. That's my biggest problem with this movie, is I was kind of bored through a lot of it, which is a shame, because I feel like what it was trying to do was admirable. It's trying to put the crime genre on its head and show us from the female perspective of what's going on. I kept thinking, oh, this is Diane Keaton in The Godfather. I'm getting more of her, angle. I'm getting Lorraine Bracco from Goodfellas. I'm getting more of her angle. I'm getting Michelle Pfeiffer, Scarface. Those characters, and we're getting to see their side of what goes on in these crime world and how
Right.
they're affected. So it was very much like a strong woman kind of movie, and you see the evolution of Brosnahan. I thought she was good. I think she proves to me that she can carry a film. She's not just this TV show, because I'd only seen her or ever even heard of her in that Maisel. I've never seen her do anything besides that.
Sure.
So for me, I was like, oh, okay, she actually has some acting chops. I would like to see her in more films, and she can do it. She proved to me that. I really liked the supporting cast, who were also actors I didn't know. Arenze Kene, I'm probably killing that name, but he plays Cal. I thought he was great. And
Mm-hmm.
then Marsha Stephanie Blake played Terry, and she was kind of the other part of that female empowerment team. I thought both of them were great in the
Sure.
movie. Julia Hart did a really good job directing as well. It's kind of a beautifully shot movie. It has some really nice scenes, some nice sequences, some action sequences kind of in parts of it that worked for me. Has a 70s good like aesthetic to it with that soundtrack and grittiness, and it looked that way with the costume design, production design, all that stuff was on point. So yeah, it was a well-made film. I just felt like it was slow and kind of a slow burn, and not maybe for everyone to be like, yeah, go check it out. It's a great movie. It's not quite at that territory for me.
Yeah, I'm going to echo actually a lot of what you were saying there, but I'm higher on this than you are. That might be my Braz bias. I rewound to the point where I was thinking you need to survive up to here to then start enjoying it, and it was like the 31-minute mark. It's almost the same review I just gave. So I wanted to like pinpoint because at that point a scene hits where it's like, oh shit, okay, this is what's happening. Because up until like that point, you're not fully on board with what is happening in the story, and we didn't give you anything away, but
Yeah,
like you're still kind of like, all right, I think I know. And then once you have that, you're like, oh shoot, okay, this is what we're doing. I really respect the idea here. They're giving you that perspective. This is the unknowing bride of a mobster who doesn't know that her husband's a mobster type look. And
yeah,
now she finds out all in one night, oh shit, my husband was a mobster and things went sour. And now I'm on the, wait, this isn't my life. Not to mention you're throwing the baby in there. Um, Echoing your Maisel thoughts, I've only really known the Bras from Maisel. And so I really wanted to see her in this because I'm not sure if like that's just her voice. You know, she does kind of a voice
sure.
in Miss Maisel. So I was like, is that her voice or how much? So now I have more respect for her acting in Maisel, and now a lot more respect for her just in general as an actress. I really enjoyed it. I'm at like a 3.5 to a 4 if we're putting numbers on it. I thought it was good. It
Okay.
is slow. You got to survive with it. It is a character
Yeah.
study. There are a lot of scenes with no dialogue. A lot of her looking out, thinking what's processing right now type stuff. The final scene, I thought that final 10 minutes with the vehicles and what have you was a lot of
Sure.
fun.
Sure.
I was like, this is
Yeah.
good stuff, man. And her own little character arc. You see a character arc with her that grows and changes throughout the entire film. If
Yeah.
you have
Yeah. Like
any
I said,
interest, go
that
ahead. Go ahead.
evolution of her, that badass kind of, as she becomes more and more in the know. I love that. Yeah, that really sold it for me.
Yeah, I recommend it. I say folks, but just go into it knowing that you kind of got to make it through the first 30 before it really kicks off. And then even once it does kick off, there are some moments where you're just chilling out and kind of like waiting for things to happen. The entire movie is essentially her waiting. And so you're
Yeah.
watching a movie of her waiting, to find out, and she doesn't know what she's waiting for. But
Or just
I
on the reading and not knowing necessarily what's going on, because there's some interesting scenes there where you're like, she's stuck in this house and she kind of has to almost start to build a life, like not knowing what she's doing. And I like the way that they worked at, and she doesn't know if certain people are helping her or against her. And I thought some of that mystery of it was good too. And you said the vehicle stuff. I echo that, but also I really like the scene in the club where they're kind of
yeah.
going into the back room. Like that stuff was really well done too. So there's some good stuff in here. I really want to keep an eye out now for Julia Hart as well as a director because, like I said, Fast Color was a good one. If you haven't seen that, check
That's
that out.
color. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then this one. So I think she's headed somewhere. It has a good visual style about her. And yeah, Rachel Brosnahan, get her in more movies, man. Let's do it.
The only negative I will say is the bouncer at the club. What a
Hmm.
chatty Cathy that guy was. He was like Chris Farley's
Yeah, you
bouncer on
heard about
Wayne's World.
those marriage problems between those two, and you heard what happened there, and then that's her kid. Yeah, he was giving up the whole thing. It was a, it was a
She was like
whole
walking
dump of
away
it.
from the guy, and he's like, no, I gotta give you more intel that nobody should know about. Hang on, come on back. I was like, all right, that's how we're gonna advance the story. That's fine, that works. All right, so part 4 of 5. That's where we're at
Yes.
here. Part
Yes.
4 of 5, home stretch. But I have a feeling that you're bummed that we're in the home stretch. You've positively reviewed 3 out of 5 so far. Keeping that going here.
Yeah, I mean they're all good. They're all
Okay.
good. To a different extent, I enjoyed them in different ways and for different reasons. I still think that last one last week was amazing. I really want everyone to go check out John Boyega in that one, Red, White, and Blue. But this is part 4 of the Small Axe series on Amazon Prime, written and directed again by Steve McQueen. It's a series of short films, mini series, if you will. This one is only 66 minutes. It's called Alex Wheatle. And this is about another true story about a black man who was sentenced to prison in 1981 for being involved in this Brixton uprising in London. And it kind of shows back and forth scenes of his upbringing and his backstory, and he became a prominent figure in kind of police reform and things like that, and became a novelist himself later in life. So again, the whole theme of this entire miniseries is just kind of the black immigrant experience in London at this time, dealing from like the mid 60s through the early 80s and the different racism, things like that that went on, and the effects of police in the neighborhoods and stuff. So very timely discussion in all of them. I really enjoy it, of course. Steve McQueen just does a good job. He makes good movies, period. So you're not going to be disappointed to watch any of these. But I will still say that standout is Part 3, John Boyega. And we'll see where, I'll wrap it up next week with Part 5. I don't know what to expect yet, but none of them have really been disappointing. I'll give it that.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Very nice. All right, moving along.
Super in depth on them,
No, that's fine. But either way, you've been positive across the board. So, all right, moving along. This is one that I'm bummed that I didn't get to watch, but you bit the bullet and did jump on to watch Freaky.
Yeah, I almost went to see Freaky in the theater a few weeks ago when it came out, and here's the early kind of take on that. I don't know if it's just because of COVID, but also knowing that Universal has this deal now where, hey, if we drop something, we're going to release it on demand within 2 to 3 weeks or whatever it is, 17 days they're talking about.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to go to the theater and risk it just because I know it's going to be available at home within 2 to 3 weeks. So I waited it out. It's a worthwhile watch. I enjoyed it. I think I'm going to go 3 out of 5 again on this one. I'm just kind of right down the middle. All these movies this week.
Might actually be the name of our episode today. 3 out of 5.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. Maybe it's because I just went in with some high expectation. I'm a huge fan of Happy Death Day. I thought Happy Death Day was great. I love that movie. So you've got the same, writer-director back here, Christopher Landon. It's produced by Blumhouse again. They also decided to push to an R on this one, which I was like, oh, cool, okay, we're going to get a little more gore, whatever. So I was all in, and especially once we saw the trailer, Vince Vaughn, Catherine Newton, I thought the performances looked good. The movie's okay. I don't know. I enjoyed it, but it's just okay. I didn't love it as much as I hoped to love it. And I've seen some other people come out really heavy on it. I saw somebody give a 4.5-star review to this on Letterboxd, and I was like, that's insane to me because I just didn't think it was that good. There's a good opening kill scene where you get a couple good kills in there to set up the character of Vince Vaughn, that he is this butcher or whatever they call him in the movie. And he's the character who then they do a body swap with the teenage girl in high school played by Catherine Newton. So it is very Freaky Friday-ish in that way. Like he tries to attack her with this blade that he stole, and it ends up being an ancient blade that has like magic or whatever. So as he's going to kill her, it actually, when he stabs her, it kind of reverses their roles or whatever. So that's the original setup of it, Vince Vaughn's great. I will say Vince Vaughn is great. I've seen some people saying Vince Vaughn for Oscars, in a jokingly kind of way, but he kills the performance. Similar to Jack Black doing in Jumanji, playing a teenage girl. It's very much like that,
Okay.
I think he does a good job. Even Catherine Newton, because she starts off the movie as this kind of frumpy, not very popular in high school girl, and then once Vince Vaughn embodies her, she starts to become more sexy, and she gets wearing the leather jacket and things like that, and just more badass. And so they both do a good job of carrying the performance of they're both different versions embodying themselves or whatever. There was a lot of just like on the nose things for me where it's like, oh, I've got my friends with me are black and gay, and then they're like, oh, we're the first ones to die. And it's like very much like meta humor or like on the nose stuff that didn't really work for me. I don't know. There's, of course, oh, we did a body swap, so now we got a girl in a man's body. What are we going to get? A couple dick jokes, like we've got to get, like, it was just very tropey and what you expect. So some of the ways,
1997.
Yeah, I feel like some of the stuff just was what you expected. It was just very predictable in the writing, I guess, of it. And that's what, there was kind of like a rapey jokey kind of plain scene. And I was like, what is this? This is like, not for me. I don't know. Honestly, I would rather watch Freaky Friday than this, and I would probably rather watch Happy Death Day than this. So that was my take on it. It was a nice idea, but I don't think it comes anywhere near the success of Happy Death Day. What else we got here? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to touch on. Somebody utters faggot in here. I thought that would, like, aren't we over saying faggot in movies? I don't know. Like, again, like you said, 97. It just felt like it was written 20 years ago. It felt like a 90s movie.
Yeah.
I did like the going for the R, like I said, the good couple kills were good with the extra blood.
Was it just for gore?
Basically, there's some other, like, sex stuff. So that was another down for me. It's like, oh, I kind of wanted to watch this with my son because he really liked Happy Death Day. We watched that together, and that wasn't quite as gory or as, like, sex stuff, whatever. This was definitely over the top and pushed on that. So
Vince Vaughn naked.
what else happened? There was some other just like really predictable lines and just kind of shitty writing, I think was the big part of it. Some of the police procedure things were really bad. When Vince Vaughn takes over, he is the teenage girl, and then they put out a lookout for, I think, or no, it's the friend who's the gay friend. They put out a lookout as they're driving away, and they're like, it's a black woman and an excited male. And I was like, really? Like, this is what we're doing? Like, just like terrible writing. I don't know. And I didn't really care for any of the other supporting roles. Like, I didn't even write down their names. So the friends, she has a mom and a sister who are involved in the story. Didn't care. Like, none of them made me care about their performances or were anything special to write home about. The only other one I will mention is Alan Ruck is in here from Cameron from Ferris Bueller.
Okay.
And he plays like one of the teachers in the school, and he has a few scenes, and he has a really good scene where he meets his death. So that one was good. I don't know, man. Like I said, I guess just my expectations kept it down for me, and I thought there was some pretty lazy writing in the screenplay. But the kills were good. Vince Vaughn was good. Catherine Newton was good. So I'm mixed on it. You'll probably enjoy your time with it, but just don't go in with as high of expectations as it's going to be as good as Happy Death Day or anything like that.
Alrighty. There it is, folks. If Tony does not write down your name in his notes,
Nope.
it means he didn't like it. Sorry.
You know what? One name I did write down, though. I don't know if I ever realized this before. Maybe we didn't talk about it on the show, but Christopher Landon, the director, is actually Jonathan Landon's son. Did we talk about that before?
No.
Like the famous actor from the 80s that died? Yeah, I didn't know that. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, folks, if you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing what I'm seeing, and I see a little silhouette of a man on Tony's shirt right there.
Oh.
Scaramouche. Yeah. Which segues us perfectly into Reunited Apart, which was Wayne's World, baby. They're back. Season 2 is back, and they opened up with Wayne's World. That was a really long segue to get to.
No, that's all right. I thought you were going down the reflection thing off my light.
Oh, no, see, it's the silhouette, and then I was Bohemian Rhapsody, and then into...
It is similar to the Freddie Mercury stance, now that you say it.
Not bad at all. Josh Gad is back for Season 2. This surprisingly dropped on everybody. I thought, usually stuff comes across our desk, and we didn't know about it, so it was awesome to see. I will lead things off by saying the best post-credit scene of any film of all time.
What, Wayne's World? Or this?
This Reunited. Oh. Yeah, Tia Carrere re-singing.
Yeah, she killed it, man. She killed it.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, like you said, it was kind of a surprise. We didn't know it was coming. I think I texted you or sent you the link when I saw it. And it was like the day after we recorded, of course. That always happens. As most of our news is going to be, it feels like it's a week old at this point. But, when I saw it, I was pumped. And this is actually one of the better movies. I've been really excited for them. Like, Lord of the Rings, whatever, I don't really care. This was in my wheelhouse. I wanted to watch it. And I said something to you, like, they started it off with Aerosmith and, all that too. Who else was in there?
Let me stop you right there, first of all. Yeah. Okay, here's what Tony did, which he never does. Okay, he doesn't like to admit that he and I are friends in public. Okay, and he tagged me on a tweet.
I did. I never do that.
I was like, what is happening to my phone right now? This is a Freaky Friday indeed. But yeah, leading off with Aerosmith, he sold me.
Yeah, and then they even brought in some members of Queen. They had Judd Apatow come in. Sometimes we don't really care for who they bring in. I don't really get the reasoning of bringing that in. Like, why is Josh Gad there as a host if he's going to then bring in somebody else to ask questions as well? Whatever. But he was fine. Like I said, Tia Carrere killed it. The only thing I was missing, man, no Brian Doyle Murray. Where was he at? Come on. I love Brian Doyle Murray. Where was he at? Also Kurt Fuller. Neither of them were there, but we had the director, Penelope Spheres, back, Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, Rob Lowe, Ed O'Neill, Ione Skye, Laura Flynn Boyle, Alice Cooper. I mean, everybody showed up pretty much in it. It was a lot of fun. At
one point, they had 17 squares open.
It was ridiculous.
I think this was a complaint we may have had, in season 1 with some of them. It just... Like, too many people are on there. There was that one girl and guy, producers, I think, at some point, and the one girl didn't say a word the whole thing. And the guy only had, one comment early on. I was like, well, just boot them off. Just get rid of them. Because I was like, I think, there's Queen right there, and then there's Alice Cooper there.
That's my only suggestion on your phone, too.
Yeah.
Watching on your phone, and then there's 17 little squares,
And that's my only suggestion, Josh Gad, because you're not doing a great enough job already. Just kick some people off. We don't care about it. Just give us the mates. But I loved it. It was good. It was about 30-plus minutes, too. It was a lengthy one.
Yeah. It was good. My only concern or wish is that he would have chosen more of a Christmas-themed movie. Like, I wish he would do one of those. Because he already announced the next one they're doing is Karate Kid. And I'm like, do we need Karate Kid? We've got the show right now. Everybody's already back together on the show. The what's
That's
it called,
true.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
do like a
Yeah.
Christmas movie. That would have been cool.
If he dropped Christmas Vacation like next week with Chevy Chase and all that, that would have been insane.
Would have been amazing, right? Yeah. So, I mean, but like we said before, he's doing the Lord's work. He's one of the best things that's come out of this quarantine is this kind of reunited apart. We always enjoy it. So I was glad to see another one.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, folks, and we'll be right back.
All right. I did watch a couple of things this week that we weren't going to do like full on reviews, but just wanted to talk about. One being this One Night on Broadway, and you watched it as well, kind
Yeah,
of in the background, right?
that
What
is
did you
on.
think about
Sure.
this? Tina Fey hosting it, and then just performances from a lot of these shows. They've been shuttered since what, March? And we've seen them. A couple other shows have been doing the same kind of thing. The parade, Thanksgiving parade, kind of showcase some of them, whatever. So, but what did you think overall of this presentation?
Yeah, overall it's fine. Again, you'll be able to comment better because you watched the whole thing. I did feel like they were like, you know what? The road's closed out there. How about we just go do a bunch of performances out there in the street? And
Yeah.
that'll be exciting. And so they did. Faye, I only saw her on there 2 times. She seemed just kind of chill. She was like, all right, next up is our next
Yeah, she
performer.
just kind of popped up in between and did some little intros, nothing
Right.
big. And they were doing it for charity, so they were trying to raise some money. I think like an AIDS charity. And then there was different interviews and things like that interspersed, and people talking about their processes. Antonio Banderas did a whole thing about how he's going to be in chorus line or whatever, and they showed some of that. They did a preview of a song from the Diana musical, which hasn't even opened yet on Broadway, so that was on there. I will say that my big takeaways, though, not to sound negative, but that Jagged Little Pill looks fucking terrible. Like,
Mm.
I like the Alanis Morissette songs, and that's fun to know the songs and be able to sing along. But there's no way in hell I would pay to go see that show. It looks so bad. And this thing is nominated for 15 Tonys. How is that possible? Just because nothing else was out?
Yeah,
Like,
well, yeah. I remember when we talked about the nominations, it was something to that effect because nothing was to go up against it. But
but those
yeah, I did
performances
see that
are
song. She
bad,
just
right?
stood there with her hands in her pockets.
Well, you know. I was like, what is this? This is terrible.
Yeah.
Because then they did, like, a couple of the shows had multiple performances, too. That was one of them. They brought him back again later, and I was like, we can't get other shows? Aren't there some other shows that can come on and perform? Why are we doing this one again? Mean Girls got a couple performances which that one really to me doesn't look that great either. I
Mm-mm.
kind of was interested in seeing it, but didn't really do anything to grab me. Ain't Too Proud to Beg. I do want to see that when that tours, the Temptation show. I think
Agreed.
those guys do a good job. I've already seen Jersey Boys, so that was fun. What other ones were there? Trying to think what other ones they showcased. Those are the only ones I can think of right off the top of my head.
Gotcha.
But
Sorry.
then which one?
No, sorry, I can't add to that. Sorry.
Yeah, and then otherwise they kind of threw in like Kelly Clarkson showed up to sing like a Christmas song, and I was like, okay. So it's very like weird and random.
Yeah.
So I didn't really enjoy it overall. I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to do, but when Broadway reopens, go support it. Make the effort to go see these shows. Just don't go see Jagged Little Pill. That's my hot take.
Our
And
interview
then,
series is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
what'd you say?
I was moving along. Do you have one more comment on the Broadway?
No, no, no. I was going to
Oh,
say the other thing I was able to watch was The Godmothered,
yeah,
which
yeah.
we had talked about a couple weeks ago, and the family was like, maybe we'll watch that, and they were kind of on the fence about it. I don't know about you guys. Were you guys on that at all, or no?
It's on our radar, but not enough to have watched it. So sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So we kind of made, Sunday night, we kind of make it like a family night. So we all sat down and we kind of had watched a lot of Christmas movies recently already. Home Alone multiple times, Elf multiple times and whatever. So it was like, okay, let's watch this. It's on the Disney Plus. Let's click on it. So Godmother, I'm not going to go super deep on my analysis here. It's okay. It's fine. You want to watch something with the family? It is what it is. It's what you expect. Jillian Bell is great. She's great as this godmother character, and it's a
Nice.
nice modern take on, she works for the godmothers, and the godmothers haven't needed to help anybody in so long that they're thinking about shutting down their service, right? So, and Jane Curtin plays kind of the head of this godmother service or whatever, and she's like, we're going to close up shop, whatever. And June Squibb is in there also as like an older godmother. So they're kind of fun little extra characters. So she is like, nope, I'm going to save the motherland. I'm going to restore us, make people need us again, need godmothers again. So she goes and finds this letter that was like, oh, it had fallen behind a drawer or something. I found a letter that a girl sent, and she needs our help. But it was really from when this girl was 10, and now she's an adult. So
Mm.
she goes and finds her, and it's Isla Fisher, and she's trying to help Isla Fisher. And Jane Curtin is kind of making the excuse or the complaint that you're not helping this girl find true love, happy ever after, that's what we do as godmothers. But Jillian Bell is like, well, we need to change the idea of godmothers. And what we're trying to do is just teach her how to live happy, period. Not happily ever after. It doesn't need to be love with a man. It can just be she's learning how to live with her kids and love her kids again and things like that or whatever. So it was an interesting take and a little bit of a change on that. Overall, the movie was silly, though. It was silly, family fun. My biggest complaint about it was that you could tell they didn't finish this movie. Like there were some really shitty like edits and weird things that I noticed, and because they filmed this at the beginning of quarantine, and I don't think they were able to get everything in. Gotcha. So it just didn't look great to me. It didn't look like a finished product. And then even the last like 5 minutes of it, there is a kind of epilogue, if you will, that's all animated. So they were like, we didn't get to film this, so we're just going to throw in a 5-minute animated section.
Oh, shoot.
Like, okay, that's really weird. So the movie's, like I said, it is what it is. Go watch it with the family. The kids will enjoy it maybe, but for me it was pretty much a snooze. But Jillian Bell was good, I want to see her do more, so that's always a good
crazy.
Thing. Yeah.
All right, brother. Let's talk about some people that are going to be in movies down the road, and let's jump onto our casting couch.
Okay. The weirdest one of the week, the weirdest news story of the week is Mario Lopez. Did you see this?
No, actually I didn't.
Mario Lopez was cast to play Colonel Sanders in a KFC mini movie for Lifetime. And it's called Recipe for Seduction.
I'm in.
This actually already debuted as we're recording. It debuted last night. I was not able to watch it, but apparently it's on Lifetime. Mario Lopez is Colonel Sanders. Recipe for Seduction. And it was 15-minute mini movie. So.
Okay. We're now going to pause our show so I can go watch that right now.
That is so weird. I feel like dropping the mic. Show over. All right, I saw Matt Smith has been added to the House of the Dragon cast, the Game of Thrones prequel. So they're adding some star power there. I know Olivia Cook was already in that, so I'm looking forward to that show, kind of. I hope they do a good job of it.
Yeah, he's going to be one of the bad Targaryens.
Yeah, just perfect. I think he's good for that kind of stuff. So
sure, give him a dragon.
Anya Taylor-Joy, our girl, she is re-teaming with Scott Frank, the writer, producer, director of Queen's Gambit, and they're going to do a film called Laughter in the Dark. So they haven't said if that's going to be like a streaming project or whatever, but I do feel like that is supposed to be a full feature film from what I read. So that's exciting.
I just had to unplug my refrigerator to help the audio quality. One of you listeners out there, or if you're listening to our podcast or watching, text me or hit us on the socials and say, Brian, plug your fridge back in.
There you
I
go.
always forget to plug it back in.
Yeah, I didn't know that would go bad. Anything?
It's just beers and water in there.
It's a milk that's going to curdle?
No. I hope. So, a little challenge to our listeners. Remind me to replug my refrigerator back in. Thanks. All right, go.
We got 2 big projects coming to Netflix, and both of them have added new cast members. So Chris Evans has joined Don't Look Up, the Adam McKay movie for Netflix, which already featured Jennifer Lawrence, Leo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Kate Blanchett, Timothée Chalamet, just to mention a few. So that's going to be a big one. And then also The Gray Man. We talked about this before. This is the Russo brothers project with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans, also for Netflix. And that just added Ana de Armas. Ooh. So I love that. I love the Armas. So looking forward to both of those projects. Anything else? I don't think I had anything else.
Chris Evans is just blowing up.
Yeah, he has an interesting post-Marvel career that he's kind of started paving for himself, and I like it.
Yeah, we're not done. We'll talk about him a little bit later when we get into our Disney Day stuff too, as well. Ana de Armas, does she hang out with any man in the world that's under like a 9 looks-wise?
No. I mean, if she saw me on the street, she would just probably walk right by. She'd have no clue what I was. She'd be like,
just throw up in her mouth if she saw me.
Hideous.
Those are allowed out in public? Anyway, here's a fun casting. American Gigolo has added Rosie O'Donnell.
Ooh, foods that start with the letter Q? Oh, wait a minute. Rosie O'Donnell, not Rosie Perez. Rosie O'Donnell.
Yep. Last thing he told me, Julia Roberts is doing a series for Apple Plus, and this is based off of a book that doesn't release until May. We've gotten a few of these recently where the book hasn't come out yet.
Early,
Yeah, so this series obviously will come out after May, so the book's going to drop in May, and then the series will come out. But Julia Roberts going to the Apple Plus there. The Curse, Showtime series with the Safdie brothers, Their lead is going to be Miss Emma Stone.
Wow. Okay, I really like that. That's good.
I like everything I just said except Showtime series. I don't know why. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
sure.
well, yeah, I hate having to pay for another service. There's a
Yeah.
lot of Showtime stuff where it's like it's on my radar, but it's like, every once in a while I'll jump on something on there. Like when Homeland was on, I'd be like, all right, I'll pay for it for like a month or two just to get it. But whatever. But
The last thing, I don't know why I wrote this in casting because I didn't write down a single damn name, but I forgot to. Yearly Departed is a show coming out on the 30th of this month in a couple of days, 2 weeks or so, and it's going to be all-female comedians just doing quick little bits up on stage saying goodbye to 2020.
oh, okay,
So like I remember Sarah Silverman, a couple more. It's going to be on Amazon Prime, kind of like a live thing, and
okay.
just
There's
like
a couple of projects like that now.
yeah,
People
yeah, yeah.
just
But
saying,
I had it in casting. I only wrote down Silverman's name. I should. There's like 8 or 7 comedians that are going to be on there. All right, are we good with the casting?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do a little what's the glass.
That's right. I have the what's in the glass.
What are you drinking right now? Are you drinking a soda?
No, this is water, but I put the little, it's called like Mio. Have you ever seen those? They're like little
Oh,
flavor things that you add to your water.
like drops or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So I put like, it's grape flavoring. So I like it.
Oh,
Grape.
okay, gotcha. Nice. My coffee got cold, so I'm not drinking it. But I thought we were both doing clear glassed coffees. But
No, I almost brought the beer up to drink it on the thing today, but I was like, it's before noon. I don't know if I should be doing that.
what
All
you
right,
got?
so I want to recommend Christmas pancakes. I figured this is a good time to do that. We're getting up on the Christmas season. We're within 12 days of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of have another one already planned for next week. So check back next week, another kind of holiday themed beer choice. So Christmas pancakes is a double imperial milk stout from Hardywood Park Craft Brewery, which is in Richmond here in Virginia. And basically it's a 9.2%er. They have another one that they put out every year called the gingerbread stout. So this is the base of that beer, but then they've fermented it with maple syrup instead. So it definitely tastes, it's very sweet. It's a sweet, milky stout, and it does kind of taste like like a breakfast. So I guess I could drink it right now. It's still breakfast time. A
Sure.
little brunch going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely feels like kind of pancakes in your mouth, man. It's really good. So yeah, check it out. I like their stuff too. I'm usually a big fan of Hardywood, and I've had a few of theirs recommended on the show before, so I wanted to make sure I talked about it this holiday season. Christmas pancakes.
Feels like pancakes in your
Wow.
mouth. I like it. Good recommend. The one you're recommending next week, can I try it?
I can text you on the side. I don't want to spoil it on the air.
Yeah, no,
I can
no,
text you
no,
on the
no.
side, see if you can pick it up. It's just a one-off bottle. I haven't drank it yet, so maybe I shouldn't recommend it. I'm going to wait until I drank it to see if I want to recommend.
All right, let's do some trailer talking.
All right. I think we should save the other trailers for the whole big Disney Investor Day breakdown.
Agreed.
But the only one I really saw of note this week, and I don't think you saw it, is called Shadow in the Cloud. And this looks kind of fun to me. It's Chloe Grace Moretz, and she's playing a World War II pilot. And so it's very like sci-fi-ish though, because she starts to fight off these like monsters that are attacking the plane. I think it's based in the Gremlins story, where people would say in World War II that's where the Gremlins came from, is that there was this myth of like these monsters that would attack the planes.
No kidding.
So yeah, it looks kind of cool. I think the trailer looks fun. We'll see. I think I'm in. I like the Chloe Grace Moretz.
Girls weren't allowed to fly airplanes in World War II. What's wrong with you?
There's definitely some of that in the trailer too, like you're not a pilot, whatever.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool, man. Yeah, the only one I saw was a second Nomadland one, but I'm already in on that. I'm already wanting to see that as I saw another film festival the other weekend for Best Picture.
I've tried to get in on it a couple times of like virtual screenings at some of these festivals, and it gets sold out right away. So,
Gotcha. All right, obviously we need another quick break because we're both getting choked up over here. We'll be right back for the final act of our show.
and Chloe Grace Moretz, she gets me so verklempt.
Superhero Secret Cinema, we're back, buddy. I noticed that the poll results were a little bit higher than they were in the previous week. The holidays must be affecting us, but then we got some more responses this week with the Superhero Secret Cinema, and I thought, all right, I try to get at least 4 names in there, 4 characters in a film. That is the main goal for me. But this one, I thought, this one might be easy enough if I just do a 3 spot, that people could get it. Flaw was, we also try and do a little synergy with either a big review we have coming out or a spotlight coming out. I had a little trouble doing that. So I thought, whose birthday is today? Let me look. I found, look, Jennifer Connelly. She turns 50 today. So I quickly sent out a happy birthday, Jennifer Connelly, on our socials. That was a hint Okay,
Sure.
so all other actors and actresses, don't be offended that we don't wish you happy birthdays every day. It was simply
Yeah.
to try and sway people to realize that the answer was a beautiful mind. Because you had Betty
Yes.
Ross, you had Jarrell, you had Vision, Russell Crowe, and Paul Bettany, of course, in this film together. We got some answers, Mike Acevedo, forgive me,
Yeah.
Mike, if I said that wrong. He chimed in. He's a new responder, new follower, hopefully a new listener. Mike, congrats. You got that right immediately. Also named all the characters. You don't have to, but that's awesome. I love when they do that. Craig jumped in there. Roy jumped in with the wrong answer. He texted me on the side
Oh,
and actually, yeah, got it wrong, but then he came
shame
back.
him. Shame him.
Shame. Came back around. And then Cats, I owe an apology to Katz for some side texting that we were being silly last week, and I was playing along with his joke. I meant no harm, but just playing along because Katz is a comedian. He's a funny guy, so I figured we can bust stones back and forth. And he's a
Sure.
good guy, and he's one of our best, most loyal listeners, of course. He did originally say the Homeless movie, directed by Paul Bettany.
Yeah. I didn't even know what that was, but then he kind of rebounded.
Yeah. I think he was being silly either way. But then I was like, is that Endgame maybe? Because Vision was kind of homeless in
No,
Endgame.
I looked it up. He did. He directed a movie called like Shelter. I
Oh,
didn't even know what it was, so I was like, okay.
gotcha.
But yeah, so then he rebounded, and I did kind of reiterate with him the same thing you were just saying, like, hey, pay attention. We try to give it away, like maybe with a tweet or
Sure,
doing
sure.
some synergy. So yeah, and he's like, oh, that's right, that's right. So
All right, buckle up, folks. Here we go with some Hollywood news.
all right, do you want to start off with the whole Disney Investor Day and
You
try and
tell me,
break that down?
because I have actual Hollywood news.
Let's do that first. Let's get the couple things out of the way first.
Same page, same page. I got
Okay.
two reboots were just announced. True Blood and iCarly, both getting reboots.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the iCarly thing is actually a revival because they're
Ooh,
bringing back all the original cast for it.
that's valid. Yes,
Yeah,
accurate.
and that's going to be on Paramount Plus, which is the CBS All Access. They're like rebranding it as Paramount Plus and trying
Uh,
to become a new player there. And yeah, the True Blood thing, that is a reboot. The thing that worries me about that, though, is it said the one creator who's involved in it was involved in Sabrina, Riverdale. So I'm like, are we
oh,
skewing into like that territory with True Blood? Because I don't want to do that.
yeah, hard pass on that one.
But it's for HBO again, I think, right?
Is it still on HBO?
I thought that's what it said. So I'm like, because I thought it said Alan Ball was also still involved, who was the original creator. So I'm kind of mixed on that. I want to see the casting announcements, see if we're going to get like teeny bopper castings or whatever, and then I guess we'll know which way they're going with it.
That's valid. Yeah, that's true.
Our boy Neil Blomkamp secretly has directed a supernatural horror movie in Canada during the pandemic. So this is news to everyone, apparently. He hasn't made a movie in 5 years, and he just secretly did this. So no other description, no other title, anything like that. It just came out like, hey, I did this. It's already wrapped. So that's kind
Okay,
of cool. We'll see. We'll see what
I
happens
like
there.
that stuff.
Uh, Tim Burton was interviewed recently, and we talked about he's doing the Addams Family for Netflix.
Hmm.
Guess who he wants to play Gomez?
Who?
Boy, Johnny Depp.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so they want to maybe
Oh, I'm
reignite their,
sorry. Tim Burton. I'm sorry. I wasn't
yeah,
even doing
yeah,
that math. That was an obvious one.
that's all
I
right.
feel like
But yeah,
cats right
so
now. Sorry.
I think that could be cool though. I could see Depp doing it.
Sure.
And
Yep.
give Depp
Sure.
and they haven't worked together in a while, so it'd be fun to see them work together again. Steven Soderbergh has been hired to help re-envision the Oscars this year. Did you see that?
Ooh,
Yeah,
no.
so he's going to be working behind the scenes, kind of as a co-producer of the Oscars. I'm wondering if it's just because of them doing. Maybe they're going to do some virtual stuff. Like I know they've come out and said like, no, we want people to be in person if we can.
Yeah.
But maybe they're going to say like, we know he can do this kind of stuff because he's directed like Unsane with a phone. You know what I mean? Like maybe he can help us do more virtual content and work with that kind of stuff. So
That's valid. Okay.
we did lose somebody this week. A little R.I.P. Tiny Lister died. He was only
Yeah.
62. Yeah. It looked like they're saying it's COVID related as well now, so that's a shame. Most notably known as Debo from the Friday movies, but I saw some other people saying no, he was the president in Fifth Element. He had a voice work in Zootopia. He was in No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
and then also Dark Knight. He had a kind of memorable scene in Dark Knight where he was one of the prisoners on the boat. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's a sad missing him there. I liked him in the Friday movies as especially. Matthew Vaughn also was recently interviewed about Kingsman and his intentions with Kingsman, and he said that he is planning 7 more Kingsman movies.
No, Matthew. No.
7 more.
What?
So apparently, there's already a TV show in development, as well as two spin-off movies in development, Blue Blood and Statesman, which is going to focus on the American version of Kingsman. They were
All
already
right.
featured in Golden Circle, I think, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So they're going to get their own spin-off, and then there's another Kingsman Blue Blood, which I guess is more a sequel to the one that's coming out now. So, but then he said there's also potential for 2 to 3 other franchises within this world. So he's trying to do prequels and sequels and spin-offs and whatever. So I don't know. I guess he
Okay.
sees it as a cash cow, you know?
Not such a secret
Uh,
society if there's so many different sections of it, I suppose.
yeah. I think this is the last regular piece of news before we get into the Disney Investor Day. Reunion is a new movie coming from the writers and directors who made Ready or Not and Scream. And this is going to focus on a high school reunion with a shape-shifting monster in attendance. So maybe something like The Thing or The Faculty, where we kind of have
Sure.
like, we don't know what's going on with this person. That sounds cool because I love Ready or Not, and I'm looking forward to what they do with Scream. Good to see them continuing to get more original projects going. But I think that's it
Cool.
as far as regular news for me.
Sister Act 3, we had rumored that. It is confirmed. It will have Whoopi amongst many other cast members. They are all coming back. That is a done deal. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We will be getting through season 18 with them.
Yep. Yeah, I had all the stuff in my my Disney Investor Day news. That one, they said that is now going to be the longest live
Why
action
didn't you say
sitcom.
Disney stuff?
Huh?
Sister Act. I didn't realize that they always Sunny. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That should have been that
And
section. All right.
that Sister Act 3, I think they said is a Disney Plus original. They're not going to put it in theaters. So,
Oh, gotcha. All right. This one's not Disney, I promise.
okay.
Henry Cavill got injured while filming The Witcher Part 2.
I saw that. I saw that.
Season
I had
2,
to break the news. I had to break the news to my niece who loves Henry Cavill. So,
I'm sure many of folks were rushing to try and heal him. Apparently, it's not super bad. It's just they got to delay a couple production because it did injure his leg. So the running and the jumping and the yeah. The only other thing I did see Denis Villeneuve, and he has joined in with Chris Nolan in the bashing of HBO Warner Brothers idea for next year. And so they're all ganging up together to say this is horrible, don't do this type stuff.
yeah, there's definitely been some backlash there from a couple different creators, and some, I want to say even some lawsuits and stuff from like Legendary Production Company. A couple other people are maybe trying to stop that plan, which I think is weird. Like, how does HBO just come out and announce that stuff without getting everybody on board?
Right.
How do you not get all your production team, at least the people who are paying for it? How are you not getting them on board to accept your plan? So that's interesting. We'll see how that plays out for sure.
Yeah. There are interesting contract conversations too. You know, these filmmakers signed on with the studio for a specific reason, for a specific contract that it would be released to theaters. Now, granted, when that contract was signed, we didn't have a pandemic. So now decisions are being made. I'm wondering how that's affecting back ends, how that's affecting certain price points, which is where some of these filmmakers might say, time out. I signed this deal with you because I signed it on the back end where I would get money here, and now I'm not getting a back end. How are we going to figure this out? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And just the changes of the way people buy and keep media at home too. Like nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but not as many people buy DVDs and physical things anymore either. A lot of people are like, well, if I have it on my streaming service, it's there. It's in my library, so I don't need to own it. And I think that's another thing. They're not getting those residual checks. So yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that it's an ever-changing, industry right now, which is interesting. Okay.
myself and Kevin McCarthy, the only ones that buy DVDs anymore. Okay, on to Disney Day.
Yeah, let's get into Disney Day. We'll keep the Marvel news separated for the Marvel Minute. How about that? Let me start off with some of the side Disney investor stuff, like their ancillary properties. So Hulu, they came out and said that they're renewing Handmaid's Tale for another season, as well as they announced the Kardashians are now leaving E to come over to Hulu and give them a multi-year original content deal. So I don't know if anybody really cares about the Kardashians anymore. I never did, but whatever. Over on the FX side, they did announce that there's a new Aliens series coming with Noah Hawley behind the production team there. He does Legion and Fargo, which he's done fantastic work there. So I'm excited in that.
It's on Earth.
And I think Alien is one of those shows you could do that. You could break it down and make it a nice series. I think it would be good.
Right? Isn't that what it said? It's going to be on Earth?
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't read the whole info about it.
I think so. That's cool.
Cool. All right. Also, Nat Geo. Nat Geo announced they're going to have another season of Genius focusing on Martin Luther King Jr. They have a new show coming called Limitless with Chris Hemsworth, as well as a Will Smith and Darren Aronofsky series, which that's a weird pairing.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, those are interesting Nat Geo things, which most of their stuff ends up on Disney Plus anyways as well. So. All right, let's get into Disney Plus first. Disney Plus original projects. You shared the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. We got to see footage of that. What was your quick thoughts on that?
Intriguing, actually, because here we have now we're anti the Ducks. Now the Ducks have become the Hawks, where they are the dominant team. They've won 10 straight state championships. That's insane. Bombay is not their coach, which makes sense because he had already left the Pee Wee circuit to go, do the Goodwill games and all that kind of stuff. But Lorelai from Gilmore Girls comes and is a mom. And she goes to him I guess he's the skate shop owner now. Bombay is.
Is that what he is? He's like the old guy in the first
He's
movie?
Hans now, I suppose. And she tries to talk him to getting a new group of kids to then make that. Basically starting over. A new District 5, bunch of kids. The part that spoke to me the most, absolutely, of this trailer is the kid that is very unathletic that comes in there and says, I get it. I don't have an athletic bone in my body. I have more of a podcast body.
Yep.
I felt that line. I felt that line.
I did too. I was watching it with my son, and he started cracking up, and he's like, "Oh, they just went at you!" I was like, "Damn, yeah, that's true." And I will apologize in advance, folks. Some of these things I'm going to talk about, maybe we've already announced, but some of it may have been rumory or things like that. So we're just going to give confirmations on that one. I know we've talked about Mighty Ducks before, but we did actually see some footage, so I figured it was
the trailer. Sure, yeah.
They did say something more about the Turner and Hooch series that's coming with Josh Peck starring in it. I don't remember us announcing this one, Big Shot, a series about girls' high school basketball with John Stamos. Have we talked about that before?
We did.
Okay. Yeah,
we just got a little more info on it, but yeah.
That's good. And I've noticed that with Disney too, especially with Disney Plus, they're starting to do some real sports, themed stuff on purpose, like a lot of sports themed programming. They have that movie out right now. What is it called? Safety. That's based on a true life story.
That just dropped this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. They said they're going to do 3 more movies like that. One of them focusing on Chris Paul's life. One of them on Giannis Antetokounmpo's life, and
the Greek Freak.
Keanu Lowe also is getting a movie based on his life. So all these different sports kind of true stories movies, which back in the day, Disney used to do that stuff all the time, like Your Wonderful World of Disney, that kind of stuff. So I think that's good that they're returning to that formula.
Fun fact for Giannis, who's arguably the best player in the NBA right now, there's a strong argument to be made there. When he was entering the draft, every team in the NBA sent scouts overseas to see him except for one.
Ooh. Yours?
The Knicks.
That sucks.
Sorry, go ahead. Not better.
I saw that they put up like a graphic of Beauty and the Beast, and it's just called Beauty and the Beast, the prequel series. That's the name of it? Like, that's dumb. They should come up with a better name. So
wait, is this Beast pre-Beast? Like when he's the
No,
prince
this is confirming this is the Luke Evans, Josh Gad show.
Oh. Why
would they just call it Beauty and the Beast prequel series? That's dumb. They should call it Gaston or something.
Gaston. Yeah. Huh.
That's weird. They also mentioned, I don't remember ever hearing this, there's a Swiss Family Robinson reboot coming from Ron Moore and John Chu. John Chu apparently is like a Disney go-to. We're going to talk about him a little bit more later. Percy Jackson show, we've already talked about. Hocus Pocus sequel, we've already talked about. 3 Men and a Baby remake. All those things were confirmed. Zac Efron there. Couple other new things. Flora and Ulysses, this young comic book girl movie with a squirrel, superpowered squirrel, whatever. Did you see this?
No. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But she's not Squirrel Girl.
No, it's not Squirrel Girl. It's like a regular girl, and then she has like a superpowered squirrel with her or something. I don't know.
Okay.
They're rebooting Cheaper by the Dozen with Gabrielle Union, and this is from Kenya Barris, who does Blackish. So it's kind of cool.
Is Tom Welling the dad now?
I don't know. I don't think it's based in anything from the original.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, just a whole new take. I think it's supposed to be a black take on a black family. Take on
Gotcha.
We're getting an animated Diary of a Wimpy Kid film. We're getting an animated Night at the Museum film. We are also getting another spin-off or a new Ice Age movie. I was wondering what they were going to do with Ice Age because that was a Fox property, and now that Disney owns it, I didn't know what they were going to do. So they did announce a spin-off called The Adventures of Buck Wild, which was the Simon Pegg character in those movies, if you remember.
Okay. Huh.
They filled out the cast of Little Mermaid a little bit more. I didn't know. I mean, we already knew Halle Berry or whatever, Halle Bailey, not Berry, Halle Bailey.
Yeah.
But they also announced Daveed Diggs is playing Sebastian.
Sebastian, yeah.
Javier Dem for Triton. I think we had heard rumblings of that. Jacob Tremblay for Flounder. Melissa McCarthy for Ursula. I think we'd heard that as well. And Aquafina for Scuttle. I think we'd kind of heard that before. So some of them maybe new or at least confirmation there. We're getting a Chip and Dale hybrid live action movie, like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I love that, with John Mulaney and Andy Samberg doing the voices.
Sold.
So, yeah, I'm all in on that. We got a small little bit of footage for the Pinocchio, Robert Zemeckis film, with Tom Hanks in that, doing the roles there, I guess. I just hope it doesn't turn out like Polar Express, like Deadeye, whatever.
Sure.
I guess Pinocchio already has Deadeye, so whatever. They confirmed they are still doing the Enchanted sequel with Amy Adams called Disenchanted, so that will be a Disney Plus thing.
Beautiful.
Raya and the Last Dragon coming to Disney Plus Premier Access March 5th. So that's interesting. They decided to send that one home and make you pay for it, just like they did with Mulan. So see how many people adopt that. A couple new animated shows were announced for Disney Plus. Baymax, Zootopia Plus. I was like, really? That's what it's called? That's interesting. Tiana and Moana are also getting their own animated shows, as well as a new African sci-fi animated show called Iwaju. And the artwork for it looked very like Black Panther-ish, like tribal Africa kind of, but with a sci-fi twist. So that could be fun.
Right. Nice.
But I think that's it as far. Oh no, I'm sorry. Was Encanto? Is that also a Disney one? And this is actually a movie coming from the Zootopia directors and music from Lin-Manuel Miranda. And this takes place in Colombia.
Gotcha.
They showed like a real quick little snippet, nothing really to see, but a lot of it was that kind of sizzle reels or little here's of main artwork for what we're going to do,
Right.
That was everything on the Disney, I think, original side. They also announced some Pixar stuff. They're going to do Doug Days, which focuses on the dog from Up. They're going to do a Cars series focusing on Mater and Lightning McQueen again.
No thanks.
I did like this one. They have a movie called, I think it's a movie, or is it, maybe it's episodes, I'm sorry. Win or Lose is the series, focusing on a middle school softball team. It's supposed to be coming out in 2023, and each episode is going to focus on each different players' perspectives from the team. I was like, that sounds kind of fun and different.
All right.
You might like that as
My
well.
daughter would love that, yeah.
Luca, as we have already talked about, original film coming June of 21. This is the one that takes place in Italy. We've seen some preliminary artwork before. Turning Red was announced from the creator of Bao. I don't know if you saw that, where the girl turns into the red panda or whatever when she gets angry.
Yeah.
That's coming out March 22nd. They had some artwork for that. And then Lightyear, I think you teased this with Chris Evans, coming in June of 22. What do you think about that one?
And for the folks who did what I did originally and only read the headline are like, what? They must have fired Tim Allen. Well, that's because he's so conservative and all that kind of stuff. Pause. Read the second sentence. And I even saw Chris Evans had to jump out there and kind of put out like, hey, folks, just to confirm here. So this is about so this is the fun sentence to say. This is about the real life Buzz Lightyear, whom the action figure is based upon. So the action figure, T-O-Y toy, was voiced by Tim Allen and forever will be.
Toy. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool,
I'm in. Once
whatever.
you figure out that what it exactly is, I was like, all right, and more Chris Evans.
I think they're starting to grasp at straws a little bit though. Like, what way can we keep these series going? It stinks a little bit of that to me, but whatever. If it's got enough of an original take on it, I'm in. I'll watch it.
True.
All right, so I think that's everything Disney Pixar. The only other thing we need to get into is the Star Wars category.
How about part 5?
Did I miss something? Sorry.
Well, where does part 5 factor in?
Part 5
of Indiana Jones.
Oh, did I not mention that? Did I have that in my notes?
If you did, I missed it.
I don't have it in my notes, but I do remember them saying it. Go ahead.
Just July of 2022, we will get Indy Part 5. I was like, wow, man. They talked about this like 10 years ago, and we're like, Harrison Ford's like 70. How old is he going to be? And then I was like, he's got to be like 78 now. This is crazy. So I looked. He is 78 now. I straight pulled that guess out of my caboose, which means when this film releases, his birthday is in July, he will turn 80. So he would be 80 years old at the premiere of Indiana Jones Part 5.
And they did confirm this is the last one. They said they're not going to do another one. So we'll see. I'm kind of intrigued. I hope it redeems the series a little bit. James Mangold directing. Yes. I like him, so that's good. But Yeah, I did miss that one. I had it under because that was technically a Lucasfilm announcement that I had a separate note. Sorry.
Sorry,
Uh,
no, yeah, we should
no,
have the right
that's
separation
my
of
bad.
parental stuff.
My notes are insane, as you can see. So,
It's quite all right.
um,
The only other thing you did miss was the most important thing out of all of it, which
hmm.
I'm surprised you didn't lead with it. I guess you buried it. The price is going up $1 a month.
Oh, so okay. So how does that affect people who bought the 3 or 4 year thing?
I'm curious, and honestly, I didn't read the entire article because it did give their price points going for it. So it's $6.99, but now it's going to be $7.99 starting sometime next year, and then they have
Okay.
new bundles that you can buy. But you're right, like you and I jumped on that 3 year
Yeah.
subscription service thing. So
Maybe
hopefully,
we're grandfathered in until that's up. That would make sense.
sure, sure,
Because I did see something else too in international markets that they're doing a thing called Disney Plus Star,
yeah,
and then it has like the R-rated content and the stuff that's from like Fox and whatever. And we had kind of talked about that as a rumor, as maybe they're going to announce that for the States as well, but they haven't yet. So, but
true.
that is out there. A couple other things, Lucasfilm, before we get into Star Wars, they did confirm the Willow series coming from John Chu. I'd already mentioned his name earlier, so he's all over the map. And then also a new one called Children of Blood and Bone, which is based on a best-selling book, and that's going to be a Lucasfilm adaptation as well. So good on them. It was interesting that they separated all these announcements into different, distinct categories. So there's a lot to go over.
Yeah,
But let's
yeah,
get into Star Wars. I think that was Star Wars and then Marvel, I think, were the biggest
of
kind of
course.
news getters of the day. So we got official confirmation of the Mando spinoff, Ahsoka, as well as another one, Rangers of the New Republic, which I've seen a lot of talk online that is that going to be the Cara Dune show? Like they're going to spin her into that show?
A, fine by me. B, that was my guess too. I would assume that's where her character is going, kind of this towards the
Sure.
end of this season, which we wrap that up this weekend. This crazy quick Mando. How fast did the season go by?
It did. It did go by. A lot of great episodes, a lot of good
Yeah,
building. And I think from what I read with this Ahsoka and the Rangers show, they want to do kind of once these two get a season under their belt, then also come back and do like a Mando like meetup.
yeah,
So we'll
a big
see.
Berlantiverse
Um,
style
sure.
it's
I wonder
crossover
if
thing.
that'll be like its own kind of mini series that they'll do. Just bring all those shows together and do their own little separate mini series, or if it'll be
That'd be
in
cool.
the Mando world. I don't know. I was a little surprised no Boba Fett announcement though with that world. I was hoping we'd get confirmation because there's been a lot of rumors of him even just getting maybe a mini series or whatever. So showing his
True.
backstory, what he's been up to. I would like to see that, and I think the last couple episodes have really reinforced that they've made him a really cool character. So
I agree, and I was glad though something that we talked about after F1 that we didn't get a Timothy Olyphant's character like spin off and
yeah, yeah, maybe
yeah,
he'll be part of the Rangers of the New Republic.
yeah, there we go.
That'd be cool. We did see a little footage of Andor. That is confirmed, and that is coming with 12 episodes, not until 2022, though, but we did see
Mm.
footage of it already. They also confirmed Mon Mothma will be involved again, as she was in Rogue One, and they added Fiona Shaw to the cast. I think that was new. This one kind of lit the internet on fire. Hayden Christensen back for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which, why are they calling it Obi-Wan Kenobi, too? Like, I feel like that's too much.
Yeah,
It should
Obi-Wan
just
is
be
just a
Obi-Wan, or it should just be
or
Kenobi.
Kenobi. Yeah,
Yeah.
valid. That's true.
Or they should
Yeah.
just call it Hello There.
All right, so how about on some timeline for some folks here with Hayden Christensen coming back? This is
Post Revenge of the Sith, so he's already Darth
so
Vader.
he's Darth Vader. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would think. That's the way I read it. Is it's supposed to take place in that timeline after Revenge of the Sith, until we see him, in the desert as an old man, as Alec
Yeah.
Guinness. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. So I'm guessing Hayden Christensen, the way they did it in the animated series, they had Darth Vader, young Anakin in there a little bit. So maybe they'll
Sure.
have him playing Darth Vader, but maybe he'll be taking his helmet off or stuff or whatever. Maybe he'll be Mando style. I don't know.
That'd
Like,
be
is he
cool.
going to be walking around just as Darth Vader, or are we going to see actual Hayden Christensen?
I mean, I just hope we get a ton of him as Darth Vader. Like that final Rogue One scene. Give me like a lot more of those.
Sure, sure. Could be cool. On the animated side, we confirmed the Bad Batch series is coming. They're also doing an anime series called Visions. Not a lot of information there, but that could be cool, as well as Droid Story. They didn't really give a lot of info on either of those. They just announced them as names of upcoming projects. So I
Yeah.
don't know. We confirmed a Lando spin-off series, which I thought was big news. Most people were like, it just kind of like went away. Most people didn't talk about it, but
Hmm.
we talked about it before with, after the Solo movie and after Rise of Skywalker, they obviously set this up. So I'm hoping we do get some confirmation, like Donald Glover is back, Billy D is back, because that would make this really cool if they can pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from the Dear White People creator, so it's good, and
What
capable
was
hands there.
what was the name of the girl in what's it called?
In Rise of Skywalker,
Yeah, who
Jonathan or
then?
whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
It'd be cool if that series was like Billy D now, like kind of
with
training
her.
her, but
Yeah,
then we
but
flash back to Glover.
yeah, perfect. Sign me up.
That would be wonderful.
The previously mentioned show from the Russian doll creator got a title. It's called The Acolyte, and this is going to take place in the High Republic era. So that's interesting. A lot of fans are going to be pumped to see like a different era of Star Wars that we haven't seen before. They didn't really give us much else on the Taika Waititi movie. They said, yeah, he's got a movie coming. It's
Yeah,
going to
they
be
just said,
Taika.
"Yep."
Yep. Very cool, though, the little trailer, if you will, for the Patty Jenkins announcement that she's going to be directing Rogue Squadron. I was like, why is Patty Jenkins like rollerblading on a tarmac? Like, what am I watching?
Yep. Yep.
That was kind of cool, though. So, what do you think about this one, Rogue Squadron?
I thought Patty Jenkins was sneaky because people asking her about Wonder Woman recently in some interviews I was listening to, she was like, I'm going to take some time off before I do Wonder Woman 3. I might have some other projects. And then, boom, here's your other project.
Yep.
I mean, I like what Patty Jenkins, her vision that she's had in the films that she's done. She seems to be able to do action. You know, I'm saying this after seeing one action film she's done, but she did it phenomenally. So,
Well, and she has a little personal connection, saying how she has like her dad or whatever was a fighter pilot and all that kind of stuff, right? So,
yeah.
seems
Cool.
like a passion project. I mean, Rogue Squadron in the movies was Luke Skywalker, Wedge Antilles, like those guys. So, are we going to see that crew back? Like, I'm all for a Wedge Antilles movie. Let me see that.
Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker all
There
day.
you go. There you go. I think that was it as far as everything Disney Investor Day that isn't Marvel. So, do you have anything else that I overlooked?
Nope. Got them all, baby. All right,
Cool,
let's
cool.
move out of the news and on to DC discussion.
DC was quiet this week, I think, just
As they
because,
should have been.
yes, they were like, we tried last week to give you guys some stuff, and it was kind of cool, but no, Disney just killed us. The only thing I saw was Justice League. The Justice League investigation ended,
Yeah.
and all they said was there was remedial action taken, and that was all they said. So,
I felt like I was reading something from my job. Like,
yes, 100%, 100%. Yep. We have put Justice League into abeyance. The
yeah,
arbitration or
yep,
whatever, yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, the only other things I saw was Batman v Superman is getting an IMAX treatment.
Oh, okay.
Snyder's going to go in and IMAX it up. Cool. Will we have IMAXs in 2020?
Yeah.
Like,
And a lot of those post IMAX things like that don't work as good as if you actually shot the original.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see Joe Manganiello. The only other thing I saw was like really bummed that Affleck didn't get his Batman movie because apparently Deathstroke was going to be the villain, which
Yeah.
it's like,
We're all bummed about that.
yeah, why could that happen? Like, keep talking, Joe. Like, get this.
Get Zack Snyder to do it. Let's get him to do it.
It almost with DC stuff, it really feels like that's what they're trying to get that Snyderverse back up off the ground. Even again, back to Patty Jenkins with her interviews, she was saying, they all dismiss that Justice League thing that happened. They all don't even recognize it. They feel that when Snyder releases his stuff, it'll be the characters that they all envision together. So I bet you they're still in the back of some of these folks' heads. They're still thinking, maybe we can come back around. Especially now that they're not dropping anything in theaters anymore right now. So why not just continue the Snyderverse?
I think it just should echo almost the way comics used to be, where you can have different storylines of different characters because you've already got the Batman coming as well. But it's like, I don't care. I'll watch multiple Batman. That's fine by me. I can figure out which one is which.
Like
They
in
don't all
comic
have to be interconnected.
if you're reading one comic but you don't get a reference, uh-oh.
Lost you for a second. You all right there?
Yeah, I lost you too. That was weird. That kind of blinky. I think we're still okay. Yeah, everything says it's recording. All right, that wraps up DC discussion. Right, you're good on DC?
Yeah, that was all I saw. Not much there.
All right, put your buckles back on because we're about to do some Marvel Minute.
Now, let's preface the Marvel Minute here with some announcements that came out before the Disney Investor Day. This is technically for the Sony Marvel angle. This is all the Spider-Man 3 confirmations. This, again, hit right after we recorded last week, so it seems like 2-week-old news. But we got confirmation of Molina, confirmation of Garfield, confirmation of Tobey, Kirsten Dunst, and Charlie Cox returning as Daredevil to Spider-Man 3. This is insane. This is insane to me. And I still almost don't believe it, but then there's been like footage of Tobey Maguire showing up to get like a costume or whatever, and it's like, okay, this is really happening.
Sure.
However, I'm taking the hot take, which I feel like most people don't agree with, is I don't want this movie. If I want this movie, I don't want it right now. I feel like we should have got a Spider-Man 3 first to wrap up whatever he's doing, his little arc that he's got going. Then maybe at the end set this up to like a multiverse movie or whatever you want to call it, live action Spider-Verse, whatever. I just don't know if, I feel like they're doing Tom Holland a little dirty here by jamming everybody into his third movie. That's my hot take. I just don't love it. I do like Charlie Cox, Daredevil. That's smart. We had kind of already talked about that.
Sure.
But I would rather just see Spider-Man home run. He's on the run because people know who he is now. Charlie Cox is his lawyer defending him. Craven is the villain who's like after him and trying to chase him.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I don't need to jam all these other people back in. So if they are there, I hope it's going to be only for like a scene or like cameo kind of based thing and not the large crux of the film.
I hope, I feel like I said that sentence after Man of Steel came out, and then they announced that there wasn't going to be a sequel. The exact same thing, like doing them dirty. I agree with what you just said. If that is a hot take, I agree. Like they should just let him wrap that and then we move forward, especially because the nerd sites I was reading were thinking this is leading to a Secret Wars film series, which if that happens, it could be bigger than Infinity War and Endgame. With Secret Wars, they took characters from all the different universes, transported them to a planet, made them fight each other. Bad guy, good guy, they all teamed up together. So it makes me almost, and I agree with people that think, hey, is this the road they're going down, leading towards something to that effect? So you're right. It wouldn't be. It does also lead towards the rumors that we talked about that seem to be maybe true with WandaVision, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. Now there's a connectivity there where it all gets goofed up.
Yep.
And then needs to get put back together. Yeah.
And we're going to get into a couple announcements about that that happened at
Right.
Disney Investor Day as well. So why don't we get right into that? And coming off of what we were just talking about, they did announce a Secret Invasion series.
Ooh.
So that's another step towards that direction. And that's with Sam Jackson. We'd kind of already rumored that they were going to do a Sam Jackson show. And that's what this is going to be, is that Secret Invasion series. So he's back, and also Ben Mendelsohn's character from Captain Marvel. He's back with him here in that show. So that makes sense. So he might be going down that Secret Wars path like you were talking about. Sure. And then also, you just talked about Doctor Strange. They did announce they are including America Chavez's character in the movie. And that Rachel McAdams' character was also announced to come back. So that's interesting. Yeah. They focused on announcing Black Widow is still set for May. They didn't make any other announcements about it being on Disney Plus, which we had kind of rumored, but that's not happening. And Shang-Chi is ready to go. Wrapped up filming in July. It will be out. So we got those two at least to look forward to this year.
If I may, it was Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi? Oh, sorry.
I watched the video. Really? It was Shang-Chi, and I was like, all right, so we've all been saying
I'm from Ohio, so it's Shang-Chi to me.
Sir.
Okay, and then we kind of got a couple trailer releases, little small looks at some stuff. We got the Falcon and Winter Soldier drop, and this is only going to be 6 episodes. Feige was very adamant about saying this is basically a 6-hour movie, like we broke it down.
Right.
So that's the approach they took in making it. It looks pretty grandiose as far as a lot of the action scenes they showed there, and we're getting it in March, which is exciting. So right after WandaVision wraps, pretty much right into this one. What do you think about the trailer, though?
It looked good. I mean, their chemistry is pretty strong, and they had that chemistry.
I wanted to see more Zemo. Like, we only got like a little
True.
tease. I was like, ooh, I hope he's in it a lot more.
Very true. Very true.
So, and then also, what's his name? Isn't Kurt Russell's kid is supposed to be playing like the new Captain America kind of?
Oh,
whatever
really?
his name is or whatever.
I
forget what they call him, but it's not Captain America. They call him something else, and he basically, you see him in the trailer. They see him from behind, like he looks like he's wearing the Captain America suit or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what they call him, but so I'm hoping he has maybe a little bit larger role. We'll see.
Gotcha.
They also gave us a little trailer for the Loki thing, and that's coming in May. So it's like, boom, WandaVision, boom, Falcon and Winter Soldier, boom, Loki. Like, we're stacked up, ready to go, man.
That trailer looked insane.
It did. It looks crazy.
There was a moment, I remember there was a moment where I was good with Loki. I'm like, I could never watch Loki on screen again. Yeah. And then when they kill him off in Endgame, sorry, spoiler, I was sad. I was like, oh man, we lost Loki. Like, he kind of like did that little arc where you like kind of still rooted for him to a degree, but then I was like, all right, I'm still cool with them doing what they did. But now I'm just like, fuck, we get Loki back, and it looks like he's going to be badass.
I'm going to make the argument, and this may be too early. We'll revisit this in May, June once the show's out. But I think Tom Hiddleston is just like an irreplaceable character as Loki, like a Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Like you don't recast this role with anybody else. He owns this role now. He is so good in it.
Sure.
So that's just my hot take. I don't know.
Sure.
We also got to look at What If, which is the animated series. I've been pumped for this. I think it looks cool. We got some clips of like Peggy Carter as Captain Britain, Black Panther as Star-Lord, things like that. I think it's going to be fun.
True.
Did you watch that one? Yeah.
I did. I agree.
Yeah.
Looks good. Fun stuff.
All right. They also confirmed late 2021 we're going to get that Miss Marvel show. No date yet. I think maybe November is what they were talking about, because I did see they announced season 3 of Mando wouldn't be until December. So I don't know if that's just because of the Marvel stuff maybe in the calendar they have set up, that they were pushing back season 3 of Mando a little bit to December.
Right.
So some people were saying maybe this Miss Marvel would be in November. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yep. Captain Marvel 2 was also, reaffirmed that it will be late 2022, November 2022, with Nia DaCosta directing. I don't know if we knew that. Did we know that she was definitely directing that?
We didn't, because did you see her tweet?
Yes, and she said, let's bring the other characters in. So Monica Rambeau is going to be in.
Yeah.
And then also Miss Marvel. So they're saying once she's shown on Disney Plus, then she's just going to fold into the movie, the sequel. So that's kind of fun that they're doing that. Yeah.
Nice. I like the connectivity.
Yeah. She-Hulk, we finally got confirmation of Tatiana Maslany. She had been kind of mum on whether or not she was playing She-Hulk. They also confirmed Mark Ruffalo and Tim Roth will be back in the show. So we're going to see Abomination, which is interesting because that is like pre-Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Hulk. So how are they going to work that? That's going to be interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah, that's Ed Norton Hulk. That's crazy. Yeah. Even though they still consider that film canon in the MCU.
Are they going to bring back your girl, Aerosmith girl? What's her name?
Liv Tyler, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Because they still kick around, what's his name, too? The General Ross. They still kick him around. Same guy.
Sure.
From those movies.
Sure.
So that's interesting. They could do that. We confirmed Ironheart is coming series with Dominique Thorne playing Riri Williams. So that was very heavily rumored, like, hey, this is where they're going to go. But now we have confirmation on it. Still kind of far off, obviously. Armor Wars. This is like the biggest one. I was like, what? Why do we need this? Don Cheadle, like War Machine show? They better come up with a crazy good story, because otherwise this might be the first thing I'm like, I'll pass. I'm good.
War Machine is the perfect complement character. He does not need his own show.
Doesn't need his own show.
He's great as that number 2. I love him. And Don Cheadle's a phenomenal actor, but this gives me zero interest. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, some fun stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy is getting a holiday special directed by James Gunn, as well as I Am Groot is going to be a short series where he's going to have little shorts. It's going to be kind of what very Disney-fied. Right? What's that?
He's
Baby Groot. Yeah, it's
going
very
back to
like
Baby
Disney.
Groot, if you will. Yeah, that would be for the kids.
Christian Bale confirmed his character in Thor: Love and Thunder as Gar the God Butcher, I think is what it was. I can't really read my notes, but yeah.
All right.
He's the villain there, as well as bringing back Jamie Alexander to play Lady Sif again. So those were confirmed. That movie's shaping up to be a big one. That's going to be like almost Avengers level once you add in all the Guardians of the Galaxy and everything too. And
True.
Could be interesting. Peyton Reed confirmed he's back for another Ant-Man. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania is what it's called. I kind of like that name. Sounds like a Def Leppard album.
Sure. All right, so this is the big one, because we've already talked about this. This is already a done deal. Jonathan Majors is going to be playing Kang, but this just reaffirmed that Kang will be the main villain, and Kang will lead into the bigger,
big
he's worse than Thanos in a lot of people's eyes. So that could then lead us into Secret Invasion, Secret Wars, Guardians of the Galaxy. We're coming off of Earth. Like, this is definitely the direction they're going. So love it or leave it, this is where they're going to go with the MCU. And it would be incredible to see if they could surpass what Infinity War and Endgame did, but I think that's their goal.
Yeah. I mean, I like Jonathan Majors as an actor, that's for sure. I don't know. We'll see if they can pull it off. It's interesting. They also confirmed Catherine Newton will be in this, playing Cassie Lang as the grown-up kind of version. So that's cool, too. They're really evolving this whole If you'd have told me 5 years ago we were going to get a trilogy of Ant-Man films, I would have been like, no way. I didn't think it would work, but it's working. It's almost like Guardians, where it's like it's too good to be true on paper, but it works. And then lastly, I think I saw was John Watts, the director of Spider-Man, has been confirmed as the director for the Fantastic Four reboot movie. Wow, we're doing that.
John Watts for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Quite intriguing. I saw the initial buzz was give me some Krasinski and Emily Blunt as Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. I don't hate either of those individually. I don't know if I would love the two of them. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know if I want to put the couple together. Again, this all leads to outer space stuff, and all that kind of thing, especially Secret War stuff. Fantastic Four is very involved with that. So it all leads to that rumor, which should be a thing. I hope they do Fantastic Four good. I hope they do them good.
Yeah,
That's not
my
a
biggest
proper English sentence.
takeaway, my biggest takeaway is that they didn't do anything on the mutant side,
Oh,
like
you took my
no
next
X-Men type stuff. And maybe we're gonna get some little teases and introductions in some of these other movies, and then they'll do that. Maybe that'll be next year's big thing. We'll be like, "Yep, X-Men are back. We're introducing these couple characters," because that would be
It,
fun if they just did it in that way. You know.
yeah, no, I'm with you. That was one thing that I literally circled here on my notes. No mutants. We didn't talk about any mutants.
Yeah.
Again, I've said Secret War 78 times. You can't have those without the X-Men if you're going off of the comics. She-Hulk factors heavily into that as well.
Yeah.
And so you've got things that lead you down that path into having the mutants in there. So I'm intrigued. My biggest thing with the mutants is I'm intrigued. How do we fit them into these worlds that we've already established and
Yeah.
not met a mutant to this point?
It's going to be tricky doing that, and now that they're trying to do the synergy with the shows into the movies and do that because they never really did that before with the Netflix stuff, that was its own thing. But now that they're going to try and go from show to movie, yeah, we'll see. Could be tricky. Could be tricky.
I have one Marvel thing not from D-Day.
Okay.
So if you're done with your, if we're done.
I think I'm good. I think I crossed off everything on my crazy notes.
Word on the street is that Amanda Seyfried was originally offered the role of Gamora and turned it down because she thought it would all be a big flop and she wasn't interested.
That is not just word on the street. I heard her talk about it in her interview, Awards Chatter podcast, which I listened to, was fantastic with Scott Feinberg. And yeah, she talked about that. She said a big part of it was just she didn't want to wear the makeup, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That was a big part of it. And then she was really kind of regretting it because it was kind of a big deal. And she even said in the interview, she's like, I didn't think this would work with a tree and a talking raccoon like that. I thought I didn't want to be part of the first big flop, that Marvel had. So
Sure. And you can't be too mad at her at that time. I mean, when Guardians was even announced, most people were like, what? What am I going to watch? I don't know these characters type thing. So
they should bring her back now and make her Squirrel Girl. Be like, double down.
Yes.
You're going to be in a movie and you're going to be something crazy.
I thought that, I think not to be a dork, but the ATT girl, what's her name? This cast Squirrel Girl, I think.
Yeah, originally. But then haven't they canceled that whole thing? I think they've just canceled the project, yeah.
Valid.
Yeah.
All right, there goes our Marvel 90-minute segment. On to going forward.
Going forward this week, a couple theatrical releases. Fatale, which we had talked about a couple weeks ago in the trailers. Monster Hunter, which we had also talked about, how it's being kind of boycotted overseas. And Breach, another one we talked about in the trailers. That's our boy Bruce Willis trying to get that cash, that paycheck, that weird movie he's got coming out. So that's it on the theater side, if those even exist where you live still. Big weekend for streaming stuff, though. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Netflix, on the 18th. That will definitely be something we review next week, as well as the Mandalorian finale is this Friday. So we will definitely have our kind of full take, I think, on the whole season next week.
True.
Let's do that, break that down. I'm also going to have the final Small Axe movie to talk about. Creepshow is doing another animated holiday special, which I'm pumped about because I do like the mix of Christmas horror. I almost pissed you off and did a whole thing about Christmas horror just because I know you would hate it so much. But we'll talk about that next week. Creepshow's animated thing. The Expanse, for fans of The Expanse, that's back with season 5 on Prime on the 16th. And The Stand miniseries drops on CBS All Access on December 17th. And I'm still not going to pay for that, even though I love Stephen King.
Boom. Suck it.
Yep. I think that's it for going forward. Do you have anything else?
Take Two Podcast wise, of course, don't forget all of those socials jump onto, because on Thursday you have a brand new poll dropped on there. Don't forget, guys, that poll goes through the weekend. So if you're listening to this or watching this on our YouTube and you're like, oh crap, it's Friday, I missed the poll. No, you didn't. Still got time. Jump on and just kind of scroll back a little bit on all of our social feeds and you can vote, share, tell your friends to jump on the poll and let us know what your thoughts are on this week's question. Friday, you get another Patreon episode if you are a Patreon subscriber. Patreon.com, Take Two Podcast, as low as $1. That's all you need to get all sorts of content. This is our 30th Patreon episode that drops on this Friday.
How cool is that? Because this is the 30th anniversary of the movie we'll be talking about.
Boom. Boom. You like that? We planned this
Perfect.
out years ago.
Yeah, I mean, we meant to do that. That's what I meant to say.
But the only way you can listen, guys, is for just $1. It's just $1 a month, and it goes to us producing more content for you guys all the time. So patreon.com, Take Two Podcast. Jump on that immediately. You're going to enjoy what we've already put out and what we have upcoming. Don't forget, Superhero Secret Cinema is on Saturday. And then on Sunday night, you don't have any more podcasts. We're not dropping anything, so you kind of get the time off. But now it was going to be a 1 o'clock drop, but now it's being dropped at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. Some football to watch.
Take Two Sports. It's the Browns versus Giants, the matchup we've all been waiting for.
On our next YouTube video that we do, which may be a month from now, we do about 1 a month.
Yeah, it might not be until 2021.
Giants win, you have to wear a Giants hat the whole time. Browns win, I got to wear a Browns hat the whole time.
Okay, are we just trading hats, or do I have to purchase a brand?
No. I'll just give you my hat just to wear.
Okay,
just for
fair
that.
Enough. I'll do that. Fair enough.
Deal?
Maybe a shirt so we don't give each other lice. How about that?
Do you think there's lice on this?
Well, there is on this.
All right, so some type of apparel.
Some type of gear. Yeah, we'll do that.
That works. All right, folks, we hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking with us for this extra lengthy episode. Don't forget to check out actor Erik Fellows. Hit us up on all of those socials. And for episode 218, have a great night, everybody.
See ya.